All right. Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here, and we are with Golden Opportunities Coaching. And if you're new here, please like, subscribe, comment below if there's something we can help you with the audio. But if you are a seasoned veteran, you already know that we do emotional, psychological, and coaching related topics on a hopefully daily basis most of the time. And today we're going to discuss uh, signs that you're a deep thinker, what it means to be a deep thinker. Yes, deep thinking is actually a thing. It actually gets labeled an attraction somewhere because it does mean your brain is wired differently. And so, what are some signs you might be a deeper thinker than the average person? So, a deep thinker is just a person who pontificates upon the uh, more intricate things of life. So there are some real basic signs and symbols that, you might be one of these people. One of the first is you despise small talk. And this is so me, right? I don't really care what's going on with the weather, and I don't really care what's happening with the latest celebrity. These are things that just don't matter to me because I'm more worried about how to help somebody. I'm more worried about how to make a difference and that sort of thing. And so if you find that small talk is really difficult, you find it to be laborious to ask how the weather is or how someone's family is and just say fine, and you don't like short answers, you like deeper conversations, chances are you're a deep thinker because for the most part, these are folks who are very, and here's the next point, introspective. These are folks that spend a lot of time, no pun intended, thinking and mulling over ideas, concepts, learning about themselves, being self aware, being aware about what's going on in their community, both emotionally and physically. And they're not really all that concerned with, again, smaller issues like did somebody take out the trash today? They're more interested in why didn't you take out the trash? So they're more interested in the why and the how to improve things than the what. And so details often gets lost for a deep thinker because they're contemplating things with, to them at least, deeper and more imaginative and valuable thinking. And that's the other thing too. Deep thinkers tend to be more problem solving and more imaginative. They're going to ask, how can we improve? How can we grow? What can we do? How can we change? And those type of questions, which ultimately come down to improvement, advancement, um, progress, focusing on those types of things rather than the way things are. It's the way things can be, could be, used to be, even used to be. It can be interesting for some deep thinkers. You know, where did other societies succeed where we're failing? Where did my relationship lack so that I can do better next time? The idea, though, is always a progress mindset for a deep thinker as opposed to a present moment mindset that really things are inconsequential. In other words, I always call it the five test. Is this going to matter in 5 minutes? Is this going to matter in 5 months? Is this going to matter in 5 years? And the more something matters, the longer it matters, the more it needs your attention. So something that matters in 5 years needs your attention a lot more than something that isn't going to matter in 5 minutes, and vice versa. So that is really interesting in that way. So planning. These individuals like to plan. They like to plan for every circumstance. They like to plan for negative and positive outcomes. And they like details. They like nooks and crannies of ideas and concepts. They may not be good with things like a blank canvas or a creative project that has no parameters to it. But if you put parameters on something and say, here's what I'm looking for, these people will fill in the who, what, when, why, for, and how really quickly. And usually, a deep thinker, while they may take a long time to plan something or to think about how to act on it, once they begin action, they actually act very quickly, because they've thought through most, if not every, scenario that could come up, might come up, positive outcomes, negative outcomes, and all points in between. These individuals love to problem solve because the analytical nature of their mind, which is always looking for improvement, realizes that one way to help the world improve is to solve people's problems, challenges, or difficulties. They are not so interested in people that have it all together unless they're a person that they deem above themselves. So, more knowledgeable, more successful, more maybe notoriety, if that's something that a deep thinker's into, more impact on the world. These are people that a deep thinker will be drawn to, but they're not necessarily concerned with, oh, I didn't get my 99-cent slushie at the local convenience store. They're concerned with, are you eating consistently? Are you eating well? How can we make sure you're happier, healthier, and more well-rounded? These are the things that they want to help you to problem solve. Thinking through things in a pro-con list, so in a best-case scenario, worst-case scenario, is the way that a deep thinker thinks. They are going to go to the polar opposites and make their decision from the middle. Meaning, if I know what the worst thing is, and I know what the best thing is, chances are I should prepare for us to be somewhere between those 2 points. And that's how a person who has a lot of focus on helping people to problem solve actually does it relatively quickly and efficiently, because their mind is wired to look at those opposites and then come to the middle. Whereas we who are, or at least people who are more, I guess, wide thinkers rather than the narrow nature of a pro-con, the wider thinkers are just thinking, how do I get through the moment? And the deeper thinkers are thinking, how do I prevent this from being a problem in the future and make this come out as well as possible? The last thing in this particular scenario is the deep thinker always, 100% of the time, will take advantage of an opportunity to learn something. So the deep thinker asks a lot of questions. They ask for clarity. They are focused on, again, progress and forward motion, but they're always interested in learning to relate to people, things, and situations that they are not so knowledgeable about. So they'll be great at a museum or at a lecture about psychological topics, or even doing something new. If they have to take a risk, they've got to know everything about it. But really, they're just interested in learning and soaking up knowledge. It's kind of, from the deep thinker comes the concept, knowledge is power, because they realize the more you know, the more you can prepare for unforeseen circumstances. So anyway, that's our audio for this moment. And until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.